What is the process on the report? Any other breaking news that came out of the preliminary hearings? So what is the process? Any new information, breaking news you'd like to relay to the world here? And when will the final report come out?
I think the last question I can answer, the first, is that there is no pandemic vaccination necessary. We know this now. Rather, we are very, very sure that it is not necessary. So the people were right in France, the people were right in Germany not to have this pandemic vaccination. This is the first and most important thing. And what will be the result of our investigations? We see that in many national parliaments, we have special investigations according to their institutes and their scientists now. So we are 47 nations, 47 parliaments will do investigations. And what we do in the Council of Europe, will be the platform for exchange of experience, and we will foster this discussion in the national parliaments, and we try to feed them with information we get from WHO and from other institutions. We are now collect all information. We are in this period that we collect many informations about single scientists, single institutes, where they get their money from, and all this is now collected, and we get a better and better mosaic, a better picture of what had happened. And this will be the report then, and the recommendations will come out of it.
Well, we know laws have been broken, some crimes have been committed, conflict of interest. But if this clear picture is confirmed, do you believe that there will be calls for indictments or criminal investigations, or does Big Pharma have too much control?
There is no law for WHO. There is no one who punishes those people in WHO. We only have national law. So this is very important that we collect the information, and on the national level, we try to find those people responsible, and we try to punish them there if they did something wrong.
Because if we don't, they're just going to keep doing this over and over again.
Again, yes. This is the task of the governments, because the governments, they define the role of the WHO. It's a contract between the UN nations, and the UN nations, and the governments of those nations, they control the work of WHO. But it's the government; it's not the parliament.
Will you be able to ever get those secret contracts?
We got it in Germany, the French got it, and the national parliaments are now working to get all the contracts. The Japanese told me that they had no possibility to retire from their contract, as we in Germany succeeded to do a little bit. So we negotiated with the pharmaceutical companies, and they let us save a little bit money from those almost 700 million euros they wanted first. So it's very, very different from nation to nation, and I just can tell my colleagues and just can ask my colleagues in all parliaments, go ahead, have investigations, have a deep look. We cannot tolerate such a development. We cannot have this the next winter again. We don't want such faked pandemics.
But the good news is the court of public opinion, I've seen the numbers. This is record numbers of people not buying the hype, who are refusing to take the shots. And in the final equation, we're going to let you go, Doctor. Who are the real bad guys? Big Pharma? And are you saying the WHO is run by Big Pharma?
The WHO has opened the door for Big Pharma. And the Big Pharma influences the WHO by scientists with institutes paid by Big Pharma. Scientists are dependent that the institutes get money from Big Pharma, and the scientists go there. They do the clinical studies for Big Pharma on one hand. On the other hand, they go to WHO and say, you have to buy those pills, do such decisions. This is what the suspicion is, and this cannot be tolerated. But the public health institutions have to be free from influence, from economic influence. It's about our health. It's not about business.
Yeah. Well, that's like Rick Perry, our governor, saying all girls must take the Gardasil shot that they admits killed a bunch of people. And then that wasn't even a law. He just recommended it, but went on TV and said it was the law. Hoax after hoax, and it turned out most of his party got massive money from Merck. Dr. Wolfgang Wondarg, we appreciate Dr. Wondarg for joining us. Wondarg.de is the website, W-O-D-A-R-G. We appreciate you and your colleagues' unanimous investigation, unanimously agreeing this is a hoax and a fraud, and expanding the investigation. We salute your courage, sir, and we'll continue to watch the investigation and the report.
Thank you very much for your interest.
Take care, sir. We're very, very interested. Thank you. There goes Dr. Wondarg. Now, notice that they tried to make it mandatory in France and then in states in the U.S., and this whole thing fell apart because we exposed it, because we found out in January early on that they were planning a flu hoax hype. We didn't know if it would be real. We didn't know if it would be super deadly. We didn't know if there would be martial law. We just knew they were hardening all police facilities for martial law in the name of pandemic megadeath flu. Millions dead in Illinois, millions dead in New York State. I mean, these are the documents we got. These are the eyewitnesses. And I went on air in January, in February, in March and said, look for flu. And then when it popped up in Mexico and they hyped it up, we said, we don't know what's happening, but we know they're staging it. Look out. And our websites got hacked. We got attacked. And then I really got concerned because these were government level attacks. And I was like, my God, this is real. But the good news is we exposed the hoax together, you, the listeners of this show, and others. And we came through this together. And now they are damaged to where it will be hard for them. But Obama signed an executive order for total police state control during a biological attack. What he signed that a month ago, or I guess it was in December, a month and a half ago now. And so it's hard to believe we're in the second month of 2010. Before we know it, it'll be December 31st, 2010, and we'll be going into 2011 and all of this craziness. But